Welcome to our series on clean energy and energy efficiency. Throughout the series we will have some short 5-minute to 10-minute lessons on key concepts and best practices for you to do in your school as well as your community. Today we're going to talk about energy conservation, or higher efficiency, or using less. So energy conservation can be in different forms. In the, let's say, residential around your household, you have certain lighting, certain electronics for your laptop, your computer, certainly refrigerator, etc. And then the biggest form of energy use for a lot of us is transportation, cars, planes, if you travel a lot, etc. So let's start with lighting. We had a series on a lesson on inefficiency, but different types of light bulbs. We have here traditional incandescent bulb, LED, light emitting diode bulb, and what you see around a lot is CFL, compact fluorescent. These two are about 4 times as efficient as a traditional light bulb, as we learned. So therefore, if you replace these bulbs with CFL and LED, you'll get the same amount of light typically for your room, but you'll use only 1/4 the light of 1/4 the electricity. So you're 4 times as energy efficiency. So conserving the use of energy through light conservation is by switching out incandescent bulbs. You can save 75% of that energy that used to go into lighting the incandescent bulb into getting the same amount of light with a CFL or LED. What other stuff uses energy? Well, your laptops comes with these power packs typically. They're plugged in and charges your laptop. Probably you know already that even after you've charged the battery fully to 100%, it continues to draw current. We call this phantom power. During the nighttime, continues to draw power. Well, there are some very intelligent power strips available today that allow you to either intelligently shut those off or wirelessly, as you leave the room or you're done with your laptop work, etc., to turn it off very easily. So if you have a whole bunch of devices, let's say your stereo, your large screen television, CD player, etc., all the things in your laptops connected to a power strip, with one easy switch you're able to turn all of those off so that it no longer draws any current while they're not in use. The last thing we want to talk about is transportation. I found a model of a Hummer which traditionally has very poor miles per gallon, meaning the number of miles you get for each gallon of gasoline. In the case of a Hummer, typically the miles per gallon is probably, I would say, about 10 miles per gallon for a Hummer. So for, let's say, a much more efficient vehicle, you use a Prius, which is a hybrid vehicle becoming more popular. You can get above 40 miles per gallon. So if you go the same distance, you're going to use 4 times as much gasoline as you would driving a Prius. Obviously, if you need the larger size, then you should use the larger car. So one of the things in efficiency of miles per gallon is to use the right size vehicle, but also to drive less. So one way of energy conserving is to walk, buy locally, do the things and chores that are closer to your house where you can bike or walk to, or do it all in one trip. So if you're doing multiple trips and you have to repeat that same distance all the time, then it's not very efficient. So you can conserve by using less, or you can be more efficient by doing one trip for all of your errands. And then if you really want to be more efficient, is instead of using a very large vehicle when you don't need it, using a small, much higher efficient vehicle and getting a lot more miles per gallon. Another interesting fact is for every gallon, 1 gallon of gasoline, it equates to about 9 pounds of CO2. Again, carbon dioxide is something that we've talked about quite a bit and hear about in the news these days. Carbon, of course, in excess creates this greenhouse effect that might have ill effects to the environment. So for every gallon, it creates 9 pounds. So we're really incentivized to use fewer gallons. So fewer trips, conserving our gasoline, using the right vehicle with higher gasoline miles per gallon efficiency also uses less. At the end of the day, it saves you money, but also generates much less carbon dioxide. So in summary, energy conservation is something we can all do today, whether we're in the office or at home, with proper lighting, higher efficiency light bulbs, proper or intelligent shutting off when we're not using leaving a room, for example, or finishing up with the television or the computer, shutting it off entirely so that we don't get any of the charging unnecessarily. And then finally, the biggest piece, transportation, which we talked about, using vehicles that are more efficient or driving less. And I think together, if we all conserve our energy, we all win. Thank you.